Hi everyone, I'm Brandon.
And I'm Kate, and welcome to Just the Two of Us, a two-person space adventure tabletop role-playing game.
It is going to be a mix of Dungeons & Dragons and Monster of the Week. And for that Dungeons & Dragons part, we're going to be using something called Lasers and Liches, which was designed by Chris Locke.
Now, this is our first episode. We're still trying to figure things out. We've never been on this side of production before. But that being said, let's take a spacewalk with just the two of us. Transmission start. Here is 9999. The location, the Pentabloom Galaxy. Within this galaxy lies 5 separate systems, each branching out from the galaxy's center like blue and purple sparkling petals of a flower. The smallest of these systems, sitting at the very edge of its pink and purple star path, lies the Lily Rock star system, so named from the constant solar flares and dust that drift off the system's white sun, giving it the appearance of the flower of the same name. Only 4 planets have survived the gravitational imbalance and temperature inconsistencies brought about by the Lily Rock, and only 3 of those 4 are known to be inhabited: Fal Solas, Lar Solas, and Cal Solas. Alec, you reside on Fal Solas, the second planet from the sun. A small yellow and orange striped planet with warm, agreeable weather, beautiful beaches, and the epicenter of entertainment, making it a very popular destination spot. This is where you come in. Your internal alarm goes off, as it does every morning, initiating your power-up command. Is this a slow boot or an immediate power-up?
Immediate power-up.
Immediate power-up?
Yeah, definitely Windows logo. Bing!
Do, 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 do. You power up. Blink, as a cyber person is wont to blink in its own special way. Mm-hmm. What do you see around you?
I would be in my spaceship called Betty, the basic economic transport equipment. Blink itself would be very subtle. It's a dim, its eyes burn yellow, and they dim ever so slightly just to come back on. Look around the spaceship, and what I would see is what you would normally see in a spaceship, very much empty space. There would be seats for passengers, perhaps a cargo bucket. I would be in the back of the ship, meeting control panels, and probably start making my way towards those.
Is this part of your morning routine?
Absolutely. So the morning routine is wake up, around, maybe take inventory of the ship, see if there's any new repairs that need to be made, if there's anything that needs to be done to the ship, and just double check any cargo that I may have. I don't think I have any cargo at the moment, but just double check inventory on that, and then make my way to the front of the ship to start my day.
No cargo for today. You were able to finish up your rounds a little earlier in the evening last night. And as you kind of go about your ship and, straighten things up, get things ready, make sure everything's good to go through your daily checklist, you head over to the very front of the ship where in your console you have what looks like a rectangular, almost the closest thing I can describe it as a Switch is basically like a Nintendo Switch, but not exactly a Nintendo Switch.
Legally distinct from?
Legally distinct from. What color is your hub there, your little GPS system?
So I'm assuming this is going to be my Joe.
This is Joe,
This is Joe. So Joe is going to be just black. He's going to be my basic. So he's just ordinary equipment. He probably has sticker, duct tape, space duct tape on him of some sort, some dings, he's works very well, but overly not well taken care of because he would have been around for so long and I wouldn't be his first user, just his most recent user.
He sits in his little docking station on your front dashboard of your ship, your Betty. And as you kind of go through things and make sure everything's kind of working, you hear the little ding power up as Joe powers up and says, good morning, Alec.
Good morning, Joe.
How are you today?
Oh, I'm great, Joe. How are you?
I'm doing as well as any piece of equipment could be.
Oh, that's great. Did you get your new update?
No new updates as of yet.
That's okay.
We are going to have to get our GPS signals aligned later today.
Okay, well, whenever you're ready, you just let me know and I'm ready to align my GPS system.
It is very early in the morning. This is your regular kind of waking time. It's about 4, almost 5 a.m. at this point. And everything else seems to be looking completely normal, up to date. Everything's looking good. At this point, it is getting closer to the time that you should be clocking in. So you exit Betty. Step out into the garage of your home and place of work, because you do happen to live here in this garage, since you are technically not one who really acquired a home in your travels. As you step out, would you like to describe you and your outfit?
Absolutely. So I am a cybernetic reborn. So basically the idea is, think of an android, somebody that is mostly metallic, facial structure anyway. So it'd be sunken in, yellow eyes, no real discernible would be the word. Markings on the face, perhaps. However, does definitely wear a newsboy hat. He's going to have what would be a Hawaiian shirt, more of a bigger bomber jacket, if you would, khaki pants. Goes into what would look more of like a work boot kind of look. And yellow eyes. However, there are right here where he would hang a aviator sunglasses. It's space. Does he need sunglasses? No. Just think it looks cool. And that would be the look of Alec.
Cool. You step out of Betty into this garage where various other transport units are also housed. And this is your place of work. It is the Astral Transport Company. The first video, I did make that change just because there was too many systems that were going along with all these names. So the Astral Transport Company. ATC. Far off to the right, you see a handful of other kind of misfit ships that are pulling into the landing dock. They're all varying shapes, sizes, and all in desperate need of an upgrade. But they all carry the same ATC logo of 3 shooting stars orbiting around a planet. You recognize the first ship to dock right away, as it's the first one always to arrive. A simple, no-nonsense black and gray vessel that looks like it may have been the latest and greatest model at one point, but that time has long since passed. Its short loading ramp unfolds, and out steps Grexus the Wonari, a wolf-like bipedal creature. His red and brown fur is plagued with gray and white hairs, especially around the muzzle, and his short cropped hair. He's wearing his usual look, a gray turtleneck sweater under a black leather jacket. He yawns widely and sends a nod in your direction before heading towards the elevator.
Certainly nod back and go, "Good morning, Grexus. How are you today?"
All he does is grumble in return. It is far too early for him to converse.
All right, good talk. See you out there.
Just kind of gruffly nods and huffs in your direction. Various other workers who are part of the ATC family start pulling in. Grexus is always kind of the first to arrive, has been as long as you've been working here, and he certainly has been the most senior member of the drivers for the ATC. Why don't you say a little bit about what the ATC is, what your job is?
Sure thing. So the ATC, now the Astral Transport Company, is a somewhat taxi cab-like company. They do taxi cab service, but they also do transport, obviously, of cargo in and out of the city that we're going to be in, which will be Vestasol. Correct?
So you're technically in your own little your own kind of space hub. Okay. But yes, you are very close to Vestasol, which is kind of like the New York City of this planet, just because there is so much transport back and forth, and that is the main destination of most people. So yes, you are extremely close to it, but technically outside of the city range.
Easy enough. So while Vestasol is our main destination, we also travel slightly off-planet and to other destinations as well. What we do is I am transporting people and or cargo, depending on the mission. I will be working for someone we'll meet very soon, probably, and I am mostly just a driver by day, and at night I am just rebooting my systems and sleeping.
There you go. As some other individuals start kind of pouring in, all in various degrees of worn down, gruff natures, as this isn't the most glamorous job, but it certainly is very steady work. And you work for a pretty great guy as well. Obviously a very hardcore, kind of a penny pincher. But Tony Rivets, as he is called, is a pretty good boss. What was your relationship with Tony?
Tony is, well, my manager and boss. However, he also is the one that would have really employed or found Alec overall. Alec doesn't really know his past, but he does know that Tony is the one who has basically employed him, given him a place to live, and allows him to stay at the station and also in Betty at the station. So very thankful for him and always welcomes any kind of advice that Tony may have, tries to be friendly overall. I think that would be pretty much the solid relationship that they have. You know, it's not father-son, it's more friend to friend, you know, kind of idea.
So, Alec, what are you going to do?
Is it a meeting that's happening, or everybody's just kind of
regular daily kind of rounds?
Sure.
If there's any reservations for any transport, that's when it gets handed out. Otherwise, your usual routes will usually be assigned in the morning before you all officially head out for the day.
Okay, so yeah, I would certainly be making the rounds, not really introducing, but just saying, good morning, everyone. How are you today?
You're met with a lot of kind of gruff stares and not angry towards you, not in a bitter way at all, just very early in the morning, and they're not prepared for your chipper nature, as it were.
Absolutely.
They take a little bit longer to boot up, as one would see, but none of them are any sort of either robot, droid, or anything similar. They all are kind of various creatures and the like.
Sure thing. So I'll find Tony and go, hi, Tony. What's on the schedule for today?
So you go into the elevator, up into the main lobby where everyone is gathered outside of Tony's office, and you kind of knock several times as you would, and you do see Tony Rivets on the inside of his actual office building. And you do say, you know, what's on the schedule for today? Inside you see Tony, who is a very large, rotund pea green trog, which is an amphibious creature. He's got a handful of thin black spines that grow from his head and are slicked back, curving around the back of his very wide skull. He's got bright orange eyes that seem to always be locked in a perpetual squint. He adjusts the collar of his white dress shirt and kind of waves his thick digital clipboard in his little frog-like hands, waves it to you in acknowledgement, and then uses his clipboard to point down to where the rest of the people and gives you a 1 minute.
Okay, thank you, Tony. I'll see you down there. Good talk. See you out there.
You head down towards where the rest of the people are kind of milling about. Not a lot of chatter, as it's very early still this morning, but, a few mutterings of how everyone's night went and any plans for anyone coming for their next day off. You do, however, as you're waiting, hear off to the side a cheerful voice go, "Hey, Alec, how's it going?" You would indeed. This is the voice of Cascade. She comes in with her bright, cheerful smile, as she normally does, carrying a large coffee in hand with a few other stragglers, coming in behind her. She's cheerful and peppy, but there's always been this kind of, storm that you can barely see just behind her bright white eyes that would make you think twice about getting on her bad side, despite you never actually seeing a bad side. Her skin's like a sunset, fading from a bright yellow and orange to an even brighter pink along the edges of her long, curved ears. And there's pink freckles that decorate across her face. Got dark gray and purple hair that's pulled back into a big, poofy ponytail that gives it a very storm cloud look. Every time she speaks, there's the very slightest echo to her voice that's barely noticeable, kind of like when you talk to yourself in a large, empty room. But she comes up to you, cheerful as always, with her coffee in hand, says, saying, how was your night?
Oh, eventful as always. How was your night?
Oh, my night was great. I had kind of a late one last night. We had a few, extra cabbers. Is that the word for it? I don't actually know what you would call them. But, I had a few stragglers that I was just kind of, shifting about here and there. So stopped in for a drink, did a little dance,
Oh, dancing? What kind of dance did you do? I love to dance.
Well, I wouldn't call it any specific kind of dance, just a wiggle and a shake, how it goes.
Absolutely. Wiggles and shakes and robots.
She starts doing the robot with you. You two do a little dance in the middle of it, and this doesn't seem to be an unnatural occurrence, as just a few of the individuals around just kind of shake their heads as they gather their own kind of awful cup of coffee that is provided, although thoughtfully, definitely probably brewed way the night before, and is a little bit on the old side. Do you actually partake in any coffee, or no?
Sadly, as a cybernetic, don't eat, don't drink. Yeah, I have to figure something out for that, but as far as that goes right now, don't eat, don't drink, don't eat coffee, really. High on life.
High on life. So eventually Tony does waddle out of his office. He stands at the top of the stairs looking down at all of you. And he holds up his digital clipboard in his hands. Definitely something that you've seen much more upgraded versions of this that are quite slimmer and a lot nicer looking. But as with everything that's kind of connected with Tony and his company, things that should have been upgraded way long ago, but if it ain't broke, don't fix it. All right, everyone, here we go. Brooklyn accent, take one. All right, a few requests on the board today. Grex, Yenna, Yon, you're going to be in the Cal Solas run. We're getting close to their flooding season, and we're already seeing an uptick in passengers. Cascade, you and Alec will be reporting to the Lars Solas Interstellar Docking Bay for the second half of your shift. A customer by the name of Roderick Flash received transport and was annoyingly insistent that he be able to leave the exact moment that he arrives. So Alec, I'm assigning him to you. His ship doesn't come until 4, but I'll need you to be there and ready. I have a feeling this guy will destroy us if we don't abide by his every need. So I'm counting on you.
You got it, friend.
Right? Cascade, there's a bachelorette party coming in sometime around 2. They've been very unhelpful in telling me exactly when or any details at all, so I will leave that in your capable hands. You hear a kind of grunt of disappointment from Cascade going, oh, come on, Tony, I'm still cleaning out the glitter from the pipes in the last one. Tony just shrugs.
Give him the old wiggle and shake.
She kind of like narrows her eyes at you. The rest of yous are running regular rounds. Go, get out of here. And don't forget to submit your hours before the end of the month. I appreciate you not wanting to get paid, but I don't want to hear it come the 1st. You got it? And there's just kind of a muffled grunt of approval and understanding from everyone as everyone gets their assignments. And they are automatically going to be sent to your GPS system unless otherwise inputted. And you are ready to go about your day.
All right, well, Cascade, have a good day. If you do decide to go out for a wiggle and shake later, just let me know. Happy to help out.
All right, Alec. Well, I guess I'll see you later at the docking bay later on today.
Absolutely. We'll see you there.
All right, have a good one.
You too.
All right, bye. And she skips off back towards the garage. Mm-hmm. All right, so you go back to your ship.
Mm-hmm. Back into Betty.
Mm-hmm. You sit down into your the actual navigation station that you have ahead of you. Are there any decorations or anything that you have within your dashboard?
Yes, he would absolutely have some sort of decorations, bobbleheads of sorts, just some happy little friend guys to keep his time with him, somebody to talk to, and there's nobody to talk to. He has, even though he doesn't drink, he's got like a thermos from GPR, his favorite radio station that he would have donated to get a free, they call him tumbler, drink, if you would. Even though he doesn't drink, he keeps it there just to kind of remind him that he did something good and donated some of his money to his favorite radio station. Definitely some bobbleheads, probably a sports team that everyone else seems to like. He listens to sports radio just so he can keep conversation with others. Not that he really pays attention to or plays those, but just more so he can keep conversation around a water cooler, and especially with his passengers who come in and out. Just, hey, did you see the game last night? Great game, kind of idea. And that's really...
Does Alec even know what the game is?
So he would say, hey, did you see the game? And they'd be like, what game? Like, well, you see, there was game A, B, C. There was a soccer game, a basketball game, a football game, a hockey game. And then this team won by... And he would just kind of rattle off statistics, and they would probably just get lost and be like, thanks, friend. So that would be how that would work. So whatever, I guess, most popular team there would be, I'm thinking since you compared Vestasol to New York, you probably have a Yankee sticker, something along those lines, just to kind of
show what the team,
the name of the team. I knew this was coming.
You walked into it.
I did. I walked right into it. And I want to say I don't want to say Shooting Stars or something like that. I don't really know Vestasol well enough, guys. We'll call them Soul Beams for now.
The Soul Beams?
Soul Beams.
I love it.
So he's definitely got some Soul Beam paraphernalia around.
Soul Beams. Great. I love it. We'll definitely take note of that. All right. Very cool. So you sit down and get ready your ship, Betty, to be sent off on its regular route. As soon as you sit down and turn the car. This is going to happen a lot because I still have a taxi in my mind. As soon as you turn the ship on, all of your lights slowly come on. You hear the power up of the engines in the back, and you see that Joe does actually flicker on rather than just his normal kind of announcement that he can make throughout the ship. Now, Joe is removable, so if you do ever need to take him with you, you can take the entire system with you if you would like. And he powers up and automatically displays the GPS across his screen there. And goes, so we have our normal routes today.
Yes, and we have a special passenger later today as well.
Oh, where are we going?
Tony said he was going to send it to you. Did he not send it to you?
Let me check. Oh, it's uploading now.
Ah, good. So, yes. So we'll do our normal routes, and then we'll have to be there by, I believe he said 3?
It says here to arrive at 1 p.m.
Oh, good. That's why you're here, Joe.
The ship does not come in until 4, but we are required to be there at 1.
Great. So we've got some time to do our normal routes, and then we'll head over there to make sure we're there by 1. Can you calculate that time for me?
Indeed. We can leave as soon as your second part of your shift starts.
Okay. When is that?
It is currently the time of 5:45 a.m. The end of your first shift ends at 12 p.m. Nope, 11 a.m. I forgot time for a moment.
I got a whole day. All right. We're going partying. I don't know. What's going to happen?
Shift starts at 6 a.m. Almost said p.m. This update that's trying to install is really messing with my coordinates.
Oh, I should run a debug on you. I'm going to defrag it out and make sure everything's okay with you there. But
listen, I'm fine. It's early still.
But we're robots. It's not... Anyway, so we got 15 minutes. We can, run our typical boot up section. I'll run a quick inventory of the ship. Anything you need this morning, Joe?
Why would I need anything?
I don't know. I just like to ask. Just want to make sure you're doing okay.
I could always use a new upgraded system.
I will let Tony know about that.
Ha. Fat chance of that.
Ha, indeed. Are we ready?
So you run your checks. Everything looks good. Basically, what it has in your terms of your actual shift and requirements, you have the first half of your shift, which is going to be free for your regular rounds. Basically, just hitting the regular cities, traveling around, seeing if anyone needs to flag you down, or if you get a call for any specific requests or anything like that. That is going to be until 11 a.m. when you have your hour lunch break. And then, I know it doesn't matter, but Tony is required or he will get sued.
Correct. State laws.
Space laws.
Space laws.
Space laws.
Space police.
At 12 p.m. at the end of your, starting rather your second shift, that is when you will have to head over to the Lar Solas planet, specifically the Interstellar Docking Bay, which is basically like an airport. So you will have to head over there. You'll have to kick into your very short, very limited access hyperspace in order to get there in that amount of time, but it's fairly normal. It's a pretty popular route to be able to have to take, but generally you do have to request in order to be sent there first. So that will be the second half of your shift.
Sure.
All right, so you start out on your first half of your shift. You send yourself out into the wide open world of space, but you are very close to the actual city of Vestasol, so you dive down there with your ship, following the proper procedures and the proper entering and exiting landing things.
Sure.
Things I should have brushed up on. Space terms. The actual pathways that you're supposed to follow, like the flight patterns. Like
lanes and...
Yeah, yes. Exactly. To think about this more about airplanes rather than taxi cabs. But, so you go into the actual city of Vestasol. In terms of what you are looking for, what we're actually going to be doing is we're going to start rolling to see what kind of passengers, if any, you can actually pick up, and we can see how many fares you get for today. So when we get into so you head down into the actual heart of the city for Vestasol. Vestasol is gorgeous. Even for your kind of limited memory that you have and limited comparison of things, in terms of what you can kind of feel emotion-wise when it comes to, you know, what regular creatures would think of as beautiful, kind of taken with a grain of salt because you have to understand what that would really mean.
I would think that it's more of like appreciate the engineering and the architects, the height structures, the light reflections, and things along those lines. So as opposed to like, wow, this looks like triggers my emotions. It's more like this is well designed.
Exactly, and it like, very much is. Vestasol is a pulsing rainbow kaleidoscope of lights, reflecting and refracting against clear prism signs that hang from storefronts like crystals on a chandelier. The true shades of the smooth slabs that make up the roads and walkways are impossible to discern under the ever-present carousel of colors.
It's Rainbow Road.
It is, and it's ever-changing. The biggest draw to this city is a lot of the architecture, although that's not actually what people see firsthand. They're mostly captivated by all of the colors and the way that everything kind of rotates, like they are actually in a kaleidoscope. But it's all purposely engineered. Every situated sign, every prism, every clear-cut glass, every slice within that glass has all been engineered in order to reflect the light in the most gorgeous possible way, in order to not blind patrons that are coming out of the different storefronts and driving along the streets, but still being able to create that kind of rainbow effect, that prism effect across the ground and against all of the buildings. So, you are landing within the heart of Vestasol. So what I would like to do is have you roll your 2d6s.
That's a total of 8. It's a 5 and a 3. Am I adding anything to it?
No, these are just going to be straight rolls. So you do, as you kind of drive along for a little bit, it's still extremely early, so not a ton of people that are out right now, but you do actually see an individual. It's a elven figure that is in, very nice kind of business outfits, carries a little briefcase and everything, has a huge mohawk that goes from the front all the way to the back base of their spine, but does flag you down.
Sure thing. Flip one over.
Sure, absolutely. Now, in terms of the actual cargo, because I feel like I should probably explain this because you're probably thinking, well, there's a huge spaceship that's on the roads. So the spaceships themselves, what you have, the roads are extremely wide, but in terms of the actual size of them, your ship can probably fit up to 6 people. And there's just kind of extra stuff on the sides for like your own little sleeping quarters, but there really isn't much else that is actually contained in your ship. So it's still a very large contraption to be kind of traveling down the streets, but the streets accommodate for these kinds of things. The individual flags you down, and you lower your gangplank.
Sure.
Jesus.
Open my door, my passenger side door.
Yep.
Little ramp.
Exactly.
Let them get in.
They get in and they sit down and don't even look you in the eye. Just sit down and immediately put the seatbelt on. And they go,
well, hi, friend. How are you? Where are we headed off to today?
just along this road, a little further down. We're headed towards the Earth Museum.
All right, so let's put that into my system. Hey, Joe, we're going to the Earth Museum.
Yes, it would actually be faster for this individual to probably walk there, but I am putting it in now.
All right, here we go. Who's ready for adventure? I am.
And you guys head off. It is a very short distance, probably not worth your while to have picked him up for it, but it's still a fare nonetheless.
Well, hi, friend. I know it's not a long way. What are you doing at the Earth Museum?
I work there.
Oh, very cool. What do? Are you a geologist, an anthropologist?
No,
Are you a curator?
No, I'm a security guard.
Oh, that's even cooler. Do you have to guard things? Like, do you have to ever beat anybody up?
No, I've never had to beat any. Can you just?
Oh, we're already here.
There?
Hi.
And he takes out his phone and taps the little window that you have connected to the passenger side that auto pays. So he puts in the amount and puts it in there. You see it pop up on your dashboard, and he exits the vehicle.
Did he give me a tip?
He did not. See, I told you, it could have been faster for him to just walk.
Well, yes. I don't have much to say about this one, Joe. I'm very angry about this, but I can't express my emotions because I'm a robot just like you. So let's go find someone else to pick up.
Okay. Go ahead and roll 2d6 again.
It's a 5 and a 1.
A 6?
6 total.
Okay, gotcha. You drive around for a little bit longer. It's now getting to be about 8 a.m. At this point, so it's been a while. You haven't really gotten a lot of people,
Slow day today, Joe. Don't know what's going on.
Well, it is a Wednesday. Not very popular for travel this early.
I guess. I don't know. Still a work week. Think people gotta get places, but who knows?
You do eventually find what looks like a mom and 2 kids who have flagged you down. In terms of flagging down, she's really just sticking her foot out and waving and desperately looking in the direction of anyone, where she's trying to wrangle both of her kids who are currently in a slap fight against each other.
Thing.
She goes, "Hi, I'm so sorry. The school. Can you get us to the what's a space word? Quick.
Comet.
Comet Elementary School."
Absolutely. Joe, we're going to the Comet Elementary School.
That is definitely farther. Please do not allow your children to wreck anything within this ship. She goes, "I'm trying my best."
Just buckle them up. I'll create a great conversation with them and we'll entertain them all along the way.
She struggles greatly to try to contain these 2 children, but eventually gets them into their seats, although they are widely, stretched out with their hands going into a slap fight together.
How old are the kids, roughly-ish? Is it hard to tell? I mean, that's fine.
You could guess probably around the ages of 5 and 6, around there.
Hi, kids. What TV shows do you like? I like a lot of different ones. There's a new one, and it's got these little monster guys, right? And they catch them, and then they have them fight. Do you watch that show?
Yeah, we like that show. Well, that's a fun one.
Right? Who is your favorite one?
Oh, how dare you, sir? favorite one is Comet Chew. You know, that's super popular.
He's the one that's like the mascot. I like him too. My favorite though is the one that throws stars at everyone, and he's kind of like really cool with fire. I think his name is like Asteroid Man or something. I don't know. Asteroid Man. He evolves a couple of times, but he's my favorite. Do you watch the TV show, play the card games, or the video games?
We watched the show. We wanted the video game, but Mom says that it's too expensive, so
Well,
we don't have it.
it is very expensive, and video games aren't always good for your brain, you know. They can also hurt your eyes.
Boo!
I know, but they can also help, Mom. They can also help you learn cognitive skills like puzzle solving and ways
Mom's
to.
giving you a...
But I understand that money is very difficult to come by. But if you keep watching the TV show, maybe eventually you'll be good kids and you can get that as a present.
Go ahead and roll a charisma check for me.
That'll be 5, 4, so 9, plus my 2, so 11.
Dang, okay.
Rocked it, guys. So, do you want to explain the 2d6 kind of
Sure.
rules?
For people who don't know, what we're using is 2d6s in order to do the rolls for different various checks. The total of those rolls also include whatever bonuses that Alec has for his stats. So we're only using that for purely really everything that's going to be in this game. So if you roll a total, or if you have a total, including your bonuses, of a 1 to 4, it is going to be considered a failure. A 5 to 8 is going to be a mixed success. A 9 to 12 is going to be a full success. And then if you roll 2 6s on both the die, that is going to be considered a critical success. So you rolled a success.
Correct.
So basically describe to me how you keep these kids calm and entertained throughout the remainder of this trip.
So we talk about the TV show. So even though Alec doesn't necessarily watch the TV show, he obviously keeps his research up for all sorts of passengers, whether it's kids, whether it's adults, whatever it is. And it's really just talking about the latest episode, the latest game that's coming out and strategies for it, and just really digging into it with the kids to really distract them from and calm them down. Surprises the mom that this older guy would even know all of these things, and starts listing off like the first generation of the asteroid mon, that live in a pocket space dimension that they come through, and all these other crazy things, and they're invading this planet, and there's people that are using them to help them, and other people that use them against those people. So it's this really cool in-depth analysis that the kids get really into. They're like, wow, I never thought of it that way. And then they arrive at their destination.
They do, and because of that, the mom is incredibly grateful. You were able to completely calm her children down, which also resulted in no damage or anything bad happening to your ship either, because they were going to be a little bit of a ruckus depending on what happened. But she tips you very well with that. So in terms of the actual money aspect of it, your normal fare is going to be about, I'm not going to call it credits. I don't remember what I was going to call it. I'm going to look it up and then I'll put it in here. Bleep blorps. Bleep blorps. 5 bleep blorps for a ride. So depending on what the actual distance is, of course, beans. You done beans it up, didn't you?
It's good.
Depending on, of course, the distance and how many passengers and everything like that, you get a certain amount of whatever currency I'm going to be putting in here. It's not bleep blorps, but that's what we're using right now because I forgot to write that down. But she does tip you very well. So what I'm going to have you do, if you want to keep track. You're going to just keep track of one regular fare.
Tips.
One regular fare with no tips, and then the second one is a deluxe fare plus.
Fare plus tip. Okay, and this was regular fare with tip, or
this one with the mom and the kids is a deluxe fare plus tip.
Plus tip. So I have one of those and one regular with no tip.
Yep, correct.
So 0-1, everybody. 0-1. All right.
So you do arrive at the elementary school. The mom is incredibly grateful for you. And so there is also a rating system that goes along with it, kind of like a Yelp review.
Sure thing.
And she ensures that she will give you a wonderful review.
Well, thank you.
And at the end of the year, depending on how many reviews you get, including how much money you actually make, how many fares, depending on when you have your annual business review, not to trigger you in any way, but that can also play in heavily to whatever kind of bonus, that's the word I was looking for, any bonus that you can get with your something to keep in mind.
Absolutely.
As you work towards, isn't this fun, everyone? We're learning about how to work in a job in space. Yikes. All right, so at this point, it's about 9:30, if I remember what time that I had said before. I think it was 8 something. Yep, so do you want to continue with your looking for fares?
Yeah, so I've got plenty of time, right? I mean,
you have until 11 until your lunch break, and then you have an hour to yourself.
Cool. Are there any more moms or people? I'm assuming most everybody at the school probably drove there themselves.
Correct, or they took their own taxis or whatever the case may be.
Then yeah, I will just head back to the main part of the city, seeing if there's anybody else along the way, anybody that needs fares.
Go ahead and roll 2d6.
4 and a 2. A total of 6. So
Mixed successes.
Yeah, right.
All right, so you travel along and you do see 2 individuals that look to be hip young teens. And they flag you down, not really looking up from their, digital devices. And they get into your cab if you do decide to pull over for them.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
As you do, you hear Joe click on and say, "Oh no, the teenagers."
It's okay, Joe. I'm sure they're nice.
I always question the youth.
Hi, friends. Where are we headed today?
So we're going to this little cafe uptown.
Oh, sounds nice.
It doesn't have an actual address. You just have to know where it is. So we're just going to tell you where to go.
Well, I mean, I've got to put it into my system here. You could give me a closer street address or something along those lines.
Yeah, we don't know where the street is. We just have these kind of general directions. And so we're just going to tell them to you.
Well, no, I do have to put it in my system to calculate the fares, just to make sure that everyone is charged correctly. I wouldn't want to charge you extra.
Yeah, you see, we don't have an actual street address. We just have these directions, and they literally one of them holds up their little digital phone type device, and it looks like just crudely written digital instructions about go up this street, turn on this street. But there is no actual street address that is tied to it at all.
Could I make some sort of check or give it to Joe to see if he could figure out just like the closest street to it or the closest address to it?
Make a charisma check.
That's a 10 plus 2, so 6, 4 plus 2, so 12.
Yeah. So you ask them for a more specific kind of way, and they go, here, you can just, put it into your system or whatever, and they hand you the phone.
Sure thing.
You are able to plug it into Joe using the little cord. He has to analyze it for a moment, and you can see that there's definitely some frustration on the teens' faces.
Sure.
The faces of the youth. But eventually Joe is able to understand where this is actually supposed to be going. I understand. And you're able to unplug it, give them the phone back. And you are able to take them to their actual destination.
All right. Well, here we go, friends. We were able to get it for you, so let's head out.
Yeah, you do that, Mr. Driver.
Okay, well, what are you going to do at this cafe? I hear lots of good things about cafes. My friend Cascade does all sorts of things.
Oh, that's nice.
Is there anything particular you like to eat at this cafe? Does it have food?
I mean, I guess in a way, it's like a fun kind of new wave way to consume calories.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's not actual food. It's like Digital.
Digital food? That sounds cool. I might be able to even partake in digital food.
Yeah, I guess maybe you could. Maybe you should try it out.
I would love to. I mean, I am going to have my lunch pretty soon. Maybe I'll try this place. Digital food. Is there a particular kind of digital food? I've always wanted to try toast.
I don't know, man. They change the menu all the time. It's never the same twice.
That's really cool. Have you ever had toast?
I mean, yeah, we've had toast, organic toast that's digital. Digital toast,
Digital
man.
toast? That sounds amazing. I've never heard of that. So, what else is there to do around this cafe?
Man, you just live your life, man. I don't know, or you just got the coordinates for the cafe.
That's pretty cool. Well, we're almost there.
Okay. You do arrive outside of the cafe. What is the cafe called?
Oh, it's going to be, it's going to be called Marcy's Playground.
Marcy's Playground?
Mm-hmm.
I like that. Marcy's Playground.
So I imagine it is very much like a building that you probably wouldn't normally go to. I imagine like a warehouse, right? So it's got almost like a garage type door. And it's got like MP like on it, and next to it is like a door that's closed, got a little peephole. You know, surprisingly well versed for what would be just a cafe, but it seems like it would be like a speakeasy nightclub kind of thing.
You need a secret password to get in?
Yeah, absolutely. You'd have to have a secret password, and unfortunately, Alec probably wouldn't know it, so that'll be a fun time, guys. But yeah, I think you'd either need a secret password or know somebody. And it doesn't look like it's an appealing place to go to,
it looks horrifying.
Yeah.
It looks like it's definitely a place where murders happen.
Yeah, and it's probably one of those things like that's the front of it, but to actually get in, you have to go around back to a side entrance, and that's really where the cafe is around back, and you kind of have to know that. If you go to that front entrance, they're not letting you in because you got to go around to the side.
Sure. So you let them out at this place. At this point, it took a little while to get here because it's super out of the way. It took you about an hour, so it's about 10:30 at this point. Since your lunch break is only half an hour away, you wouldn't really be able to get back to the heart of Vesta Sol in that amount of time before you took your break. So it's up to you if you would like to actually attend this cafe, or if you would like to go back and try to get in one more fare before.
Hi, friends. I know you're on the way out, but
You're like, I'm about to go out.
Is there something secret or special that I need to go? Because it is my lunch break now, and I might try this digital food that you told me about.
Yeah, you need like a super special password in order to be let in.
Could you tell me the password?
I mean, we're not allowed to actually tell it to you. It's on our actual devices. It gets sent to us. It changes every 5 minutes, but you're kind of cool. So you want to just come in with us?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. They do pay you. It is a mixed success, so you don't get a tip from them. They are obnoxious youth. So you get one regular fare with no tip. But you did roll high enough on that charisma check that they are going to allow you to come in with them.
Okay.
So you head up to do you like keep your vehicle out front? There doesn't seem to be a parking lot anywhere. There also doesn't seem to be any other ships or cars or anything in sight.
Yeah, I would certainly just kind of leave it out front.
Okay.
I mean, obviously look for any like no parking signs or anything along those lines. I'm going to take
There's
Joe.
no signs at all. It is just like, it's all of these buildings seem to be completely abandoned, and you would think that this one was too.
I'm taking Joe with me.
Okay, you're going to remove him from
Take him with me.
the dashboard.
And lock up the ship as much as possible.
Boop, 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 boop.
And head out with new friends.
Okay, very cool. Yes, so you head up to this warehouse where there is this terribly rusted, massive warehouse door that does have a very small little peephole that you can see. You would have absolutely missed it if you were not been aware of it previously. The two teenagers go up to the door and they knock twice on it. And you hear definitely a scuffle on the other side. and you don't see anything change, but you do see one of the teenagers with the phone that you had plugged in previously. They open up their phone. Looks like they open up an app or some sort of text message or something like that. And they look at it and real quick and they go, Karma Initiative. And then you hear some gears moving. You hear a shift, and you see that what looked like 2 trash cans off to the side, they actually lower into the floor, and there's a crawl space. That's about 5 feet by 5 feet, perfect square.
Perfect square, okay.
And the 2 teenagers go and crawl into the crawl space.
Would I fit?
Yeah, you would fit.
Okay, we crawl into the crawl space with them.
Sure, absolutely. Go ahead and make a dexterity check.
It's a +2. It's a total of 12. 2 5s.
There you go. Easy enough. The way that you first approach it, you realize your shoulders are going to be too wide, but the way that, because it's a perfect square, you're able to just tilt them a little bit to the side. Yep, you're able to pivot just a little bit, and you are able to very easily put yourself through that crawl space. On the other side, it looks just as horrifying as it did from the front. It is a almost completely dark alleyway, except for 2 lights that keep flickering on and off that give it a terrible strobe effect. But the 2 teenagers seem very confident in this. They don't seem scared at all about what is about to happen. But you follow them down this hallway. And around this hallway, on both sides of this building, it curves over, and you would have thought that this was just a regular cafe that is open in front in the heart of Vesta Sol. There's people everywhere, all teenagers of various ages, and there's a very actual kind of fancy atmosphere here. You see a lot of the waiters are in like tuxedos, and they're carrying around trays like they would at, they have flutes of mimosas and champagne and everything. But you do notice that even though everyone has plates in front of them, there's no food to be seen.
Friends, we don't have to stick together if you don't want to. Fully understand.
Yeah, we're not. Okay, bye.
Well, how do I get the food? Where do I go for food?
I mean, you just order it, bye.
Okay, well, I guess I'm going to go look for food.
You see that they do actually go into the cafe itself, which is inside the building. This is just outdoor seating. And there is a waitress or a hostess rather, that they go up to talk to. The hostess directs them to a specific table, and then it is your turn. The hostess is a purple and yellow striped dragonborn with hair that kind of shoots up in like 3 different mohawks that are very short and just go off to the sides of the head. But she very cheerfully greets you and says, "Hi, how can I help you today?"
I'm here for the digital food.
Yes, of course. We have a wonderful menu and selection of foods today. Do you have any allergies that we should know about?
I don't know. I've never eaten before.
That totally takes her aback for a moment. And do you have your aviator shades on right now?
No, they're clipped here.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, he doesn't normally wear them.
She does a double take and goes, yes, of course, my mistake. Apologies.
That's okay.
Well, it's going to be a great experience. Thank you so much for coming to our cafe today. Right this way, sir. And she does lead you, or at least hands you off to another waitress who leads you to the option of either sitting at the bar or sitting at a booth.
I'd go to the bar.
You'd go to the bar?
Yeah.
Sure, absolutely. You take a seat at the bar, and there is kind of this little droid on the back of it, kind of shaped like a weird shaped vase that has just 2 glowing eyes at the very top, no mouth really to speak of, but has those robotic arms off to the side and is currently delivering glasses of actual drinks, which you weren't 100% expecting. That there does seem to be liquids here. Everyone does have drinks, but no one has actual physical food.
Gotcha.
So you are handed a menu from this droid from behind the bar. What is something that you would like to try on this digital menu?
So Alex,
digital food in the digital menu.
So there's a lot of weird stuff on here that he's not used to seeing. Space slugs, space eggs, if you would. I'm thinking like caviar and, escargot style stuff, but space, obviously. And he would probably just pick something plain. Like if they actually had a toast, it would be a toast. Possibly some sort of exotic fruit. I'm thinking avocado toast.
I was just going to say avocado toast.
That kind of idea would be something he would certainly be interested in.
Okay, sure. So there is a toast section, since it is still technically around that breakfast brunch area. We all know brunch is very popular for the young people. I love me a brunch because I get to sleep in after that. But yes, there's a variety of different toasts. There is grapefruit toast, there is raspberry toast, there is avocado toast, and there is orange toast.
Sure.
In terms of like the fruits and other toppings that you have available to you.
I imagine the others are more like a jam or like a jelly or something on top of it. So he would go for the avocado toast.
Okay, sure, absolutely. So you select the avocado toast on your digital menu. And as soon as you select it, the menu itself shuts down. You can still keep it if you would like to order more things, but it does shut down for the moment. And you hear a little bit of a rattle on the bar directly in front of you. And this little window shifts open and a plate pops up. And there's a tiny, tiny, tiny little like when you have a USB, but the actual like holding part, like you have the USB that goes into the slot, but the rest of it has fallen off. So you just see like the actual like motherboard part of it, the circuit board of it, what it looks like, but it's extremely short.
Go
ahead and make a... You can either make an intelligence or a wisdom check. That's up to you.
So with that, okay, so intelligence or wisdom. So it'll be intelligence because I get a +2 there. Yikes, that's a 4 on the dice, so it's 6 total with a mixed success.
Okay, so you are about to actually eat it. You were using wisdom, right? Or intelligence?
Wisdom. Nope. Intelligence. Intelligence is the +2.
Intelligence, okay. So you're going to put it in your mouth, and you have the thought of, this can't be right. But you go and put it in your mouth, and you start crunching on it, and you realize that there's a bunch of people looking at you very oddly around you. Like they're not 100% sure what is happening. And you notice that all of the people here, they seem to have a little USB port on the inside of their wrists. There seems to be one per wrist, and they're actually taking the little USB and plugging it directly into their wrist. And they're all giving you very odd looks.
Bartender?
Yes, how can I help you?
How do I get one of the USB wrists? This is very crunchy, by the way. How do I get one of the actual
You are not supposed to consume them.
Oh.
Just throw it back up.
This is crunch. He doesn't have a digestive system to like fully throw anything back up. He's just crunching on it.
I will get you another order.
Can you give me something to actually eat it with?
So you yourself being a cybernetic, you do have...
I have these already.
You do, yes, you do have USB ports. Not necessarily on the wrist.
Sure.
Stop.
Said nothing. So where would my USB ports be? Are you asking me? Or?
Yeah.
So if it's not on the wrist, would make sense.
I was going to say like maybe back of the neck or something like that. Yeah, so they give you another order of the same toast if you would like, or if you wanted to order something different.
I had heart set on avocado toast, so we're trying this.
Sure, absolutely. So they get you another little USB and you stick it into the back of your neck. And you get, it's very strange because you've never really experienced sensory things, but you get the sensation of toast in your mouth, but not like it's not like it's actually there. It's just kind of like the texture, like you suddenly feel texture, which is something that you've never experienced before. And you, being a cybernetic, you recognize that these are just data pulses that are going to your brain to tell you this is what this is feeling like right now. So you're able to kind of recognize it, and it kind of takes away from the experience a little bit because you understand the process of this, where I'm sure it's extremely new to everyone else. But you get the taste of what you assume is avocado toast.
This is amazing. Barkeep.
Yes.
How do I come back here?
You have to have the app.
How do I get the app?
The app is Marcy's Playground Plus app.
Can I get that on Joe? And I pull out Joe. It's like pulling out probably like the Zach Morris gray cell phone. Like that's like
you
this.
Pull it out and you hear an audible, "Oh my God," from somewhere in the bar.
Fully, yeah, absolutely.
Actually, one of the teenagers who is also sitting at the bar comes over to you and says, "Can I take a picture of this?"
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll hold it up.
Oh my God, my grandfather told me about these. Wow, I've never thought I would see one in real life. And they take a picture of it, they take a picture of themselves with it, they take a selfie with it and you, if you are willing to take a selfie with 100%. Them. And they take a bunch of pictures and go, "Okay, thanks."
Well, don't forget to tag Astral Transport Company in there.
Oh, is that your company?
Yeah, absolutely.
Just took ownership of that company. Okay, sure, whatever. All right, bye. You just hear him whisper to the friends, "That's the oldest freaking thing I've ever seen in my life." Yeah, so you have experienced avocado toast. For the app itself, you are not able to get that on Joe. Joe does not have, like, there's a limit to what kind of devices this app can work with, the kind of upgrades and operating systems it can work with, and you are way beyond that.
Trying to, like, get any app on, like, a flip phone kind of idea.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. That is exactly what that is. So you've experienced food for the first time.
Nice.
What do you think?
I like it a lot. I'd do it again if I could.
You do have to pay, of course, for your meal itself. Extremely expensive. It's going to take the 2 regular fares. It's the money for that.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, so you've already lost the 2 regular fares that you had. Okay. Eventually, when I figure it out, we'll have a number system to go along with that.
It was 57 bleep blorps.
Bleep blorps. Bleep blorps. Bleep blorp. So at this point, it's your lunch break. If you would like to remain here, whatever you would like to do for your lunch break.
Well, knowing the price, I probably have some money because I don't normally eat or do anything with any spare money I would have. I would try one more thing.
Sure. What do you want to try?
It would be something a little more complex than toast. I'm thinking more of like if we could find. I would imagine a place like this doesn't have like a sandwich. So I would say it's probably going to be more in the lines of like a
flatbread?
Yeah, either like a flatbread or like a panini grilled, an artisanal panini.
Sure.
Organic,
muffin.
Muffin kind of thing, So something along those lines.
Okay, sure. So you can put in another order for whatever kind of food you would like. The plate that you had the USB on, as soon as you had taken it, it had removed the plate from you. And another one gets delivered to you with another USB. It looks exactly the same, but because of your robotic knowledge, you can see with the differences in the different wires and stuff like that.
Okay, and then just put it right back in.
Yep, you do that and you get the very odd sensation of texture of a panini sandwich and the actual taste of it. And it is extremely good. It is very well crafted, certainly. Is it worth the price? That's up to you.
No, probably not. And after that, I'd probably just get up and walk around, see if there was anything else here in Marcy's Playground to, see, look at. Are there any other like shops or is it strictly just a cafe?
No, it's strictly the cafe. Okay. There's really nothing else that's around here. But if you want to walk around, you're more than welcome to do so.
I would probably go back to the hostess and be like, "Hi, friend. How do we get out of this place?"
Oh, sure, absolutely. If you would just want to follow me this way.
Yes.
And she leads you around this kind of maze, little bit of a corridor that you imagine just goes through the rest of the actual warehouse, because the size of the cafe is still too small to have fit in the entire warehouse system. She leads you through an absolute maze and then brings you to an elevator to get into. She goes, just push the down button and you'll be released outside.
Thank you, friend.
You're very welcome. You press the down elevator and you feel nothing. You don't feel the elevator move. You don't hear any gears or electronic noises or anything. But then you feel the doors behind you open. And there's a regular street.
Oh.
Not the street that you came out in.
Uh-oh. Joe, can you get me back to Betty?
We have to leave this elevator. I have no signal.
Here, we'll get out of the elevator and go into the street. Can you find
Sure.
Betty?
Yes, just go 2 blocks that way and take a right.
Go 2 blocks and take a right.
By all accounts, it should not be this direction. In order to do this, it should just be on the other side of the actual building itself. But you follow his directions and you go 2 blocks up and you're going to turn right. Go ahead and make a wisdom check for me.
11 plus 1, so 12.
Go. I have to adjust these or something. But no, that's awesome. Fantastic. As you once you go up 2 blocks, as soon as you turn the corner, you're met with a little bit of a disturbing sight. You see that there are several different dumpsters that line this stretch of alleyway, I guess, between all the different abandoned buildings. And you see what looks like a robotic arm that's hanging out the side of one of the dumpsters.
I would certainly go look at it if I could recognize, the arm or anything like that.
You go over to the dumpster and you take a look inside, and it looks like there's only certain parts that are of some kind of cybernetic sort of droid kind of area. But you notice something odd, especially with that high of a success on it. There's really only an arm and a leg and what looks like various parts that might have been internal. No head or anything like that. But the arm itself that is draped over the dumpster, it seems to have something missing on the wrist. It looks like some sort of electronic or part of that droid was attached to it, but it looks like there's different wires that are frayed.
Sure.
And there's something missing right on the wrist, and it looks like it would be square.
Okay. And then I would look at my own hand and look at what looks like a watch on the hand, and kind of just think about how that could be connected, because it's always been weird for Alec to know that he has a watch robot, right? So, but he kind of looks at it and looks at is it kind of the same idea?
Generally around the exact same shape, yes.
Okay. I'm going to try to take as much as I can of these robot parts to Betty.
Okay, sure.
Keep them, yeah.
Yep, it's easy enough. There's only a small amount of parts and not something super heavy, at least for you. So you can absolutely gather them together.
Sure.
All right. You take those parts with you and follow down the rest of the alleyway, and you turn the corner and you can see Betty is right there outside of that same kind of weird warehouse that you were outside of.
Sure thing. So bloop, bloop, open up Betty and put the parts in the back in the storage area. Go back, put Joe in his dock. We still have time. I think we got time, right, Joe? We should probably start heading over to the other place. Could always be early.
We have exactly 25 minutes left of your lunch break.
I've got nothing else to do. I tried food for the first time, Joe. It was great.
You don't need food.
I don't need it, but it was an experience. That's what it's all about. Life is an experience.
I guess.
Anyway, I think we should just go ahead and start heading over there. I don't have anything else to do on my lunch break.
All right, putting in the coordinates. He tracks the coordinates to go to the Lar Solas Interstellar Docking Bay, and you go ahead and take off. You leave the actual system itself, you follow the correct pathways, and then you are out in space. So Lar Solas is going to be the Yep, so Lars Solas is going to be the next planet over, basically. So you are the second planet from the sun, and then there are two others that are known to be inhabited, which are further back from you. Lars Solas is the next closest one. You have to hit your hyperspace in order to get there, but you can very easily get there in a little bit under an hour. So you arrive at the actual docking bay itself, and this is kind of the main shuttle, I want to say shuttle system. It's basically an airport. It's massive and chrome and gorgeous and sparkling and the most updated technology and all the, best features and everything. And this is where hundreds and hundreds of ships all come in order to go out from its several different locations. Definitely a very popular point for the ATC to be able to transport individuals back and forth. And you go over there and you go into the actual taxi bay itself, and you wait there for patron.
And then during that extra, say, like 25 minutes or so, I just want to take another look at the robot parts to see if it was anything I could decipher, whether it was, forcibly removed, anything along those lines.
Okay, sure. Make a intelligence check.
Ooh, intelligence would be 8, so it's a 5, a 1, and a 2.
Total of 8?
Yes.
It's kind of difficult to tell. You can gather based on the way that the wires are frayed that it certainly wasn't. It didn't look like it was supposed to be removed in the way that it was, but beyond that, you can't really tell in terms of how it was removed or even what it was specifically. It just seems to be very familiar to you.
Okay. And we'll just wait for patron.
All right, very cool. How do you pass the time? Because you're going to be here for several hours.
One would be looking at the robot, just listening to the radio, information from there. It's really about it. Try to talk to Joe, listen to the radio, get information about other stuff.
Sure, absolutely. Joe's not really a great conversationalist and super obnoxious to try to talk to, so I think you get frustrated after a little bit of trying to have conversations with him. So you just listen to the radio. After about the first hour or so, you see a very familiar ship pull up into the taxi area. This is Cascade's ship. She's a few, I always want to say cars. She's a few ships behind you in terms of the loading bay. What's kind of special about Cascade's ship?
The color, mostly. Since she is more of an ombre, kind of like Fate, I think your ship would have something very similar. That kind of light pink into a dark purple kind of fade, much like herself. A little more personable, probably has a little more up-to-date, especially than what Betty is. A little more stylish. Something along those. The ATC stands out a little more. It looks like it's a more upper class or better build than what Betty is.
And she often gets kind of stuck with these groups like the bachelorette parties and everything because she had put in so much time and effort to make her ship look nice. Although it does get her significantly more patrons than some of the other ones, she does get stuck with these large parties because she can be considered kind of like the party bus. But because of that, she does get pretty good tips out of it. It's just more of kind of the upkeep and all the extra time she has to spend cleaning everything out. She kind of waves to you from her from inside of her ship, but she's sticking inside for the moment. More time goes by. You can see that everyone's standing outside, who's waiting for their patrons. You hear the bachelorette party before you see it, and they all swarm Cascade. She ushers them all in. There's like 15 girls that she's got to put into the car. But she did get a kind of nicer, upgraded model of her ship, so she can fit that many, which is also why she gets picked for these bigger crowds. But she takes off at around 2. and you are still waiting for 4 p.m. for your
2 hours.
Yes, but you were told that you have to be exactly on time and ready for it, according to this guy.
Yeah, so we're just hanging out on the ship, waiting.
Perfect. It's getting closer to 4 p.m. I would like you to make a wisdom check.
9 plus 1, so 5, 4 plus 1.
So 10?
10 total.
Perfect. Awesome. So it's getting around that time, so you step out of Betty in order to prepare yourself to greet this individual as they're going to be coming out and getting into whatever taxi. Do you have how do you signify to your patrons that you are the one that they are looking for? Like, you know how like the limo drivers will have their signs, but like, is yours like a handwritten sign? Is it a digital one? How fancy are you?
It would certainly, it's probably not going to be digital just because he can't doesn't have like money or anything like that to have a digital sign. So it would probably be more of a handwritten sign in a nice, what would be like block lettering.
Sure.
He has the patron's name, much
yes,
like
that
that
was Roger. So the name is Roderick Flash.
So it would say Roderick Flash under it, Flash under it. And he would just kind of be standing there holding it.
Sure, absolutely. As you're standing around looking, once it gets closer to the time, 4 p.m. on the dot, you see an individual come out of the landing bay. And they are looking around feverishly. They are making a beeline for these taxis and scanning every single one, and then sees the sign and locks eyes with you. It is a chrome-scaled dragonborn. He has several fin-like protrusions that kind of seem to flap and flex as he's looking around, and he does a brisk walk to you. Before he's even there, before he officially gets there, he goes, open, we gotta go.
Okay, let's go.
He jumps into your ship, takes a seat in the passenger side. He's carrying with him kind of a wide rectangular briefcase, probably about the length of like a guitar case, but it's more square and rectangular. He puts, sorry, I just inhaled air and choked. He puts that to the side next to him and starts tapping his foot nervously. He's wearing a very nice black and red business suit. But he says, all right, are we going?
Where are we going, friend?
We're going back to the ATC.
Okay, well, let's go.
All right, so you take off. Go ahead and make an intelligence check for me.
It's a 7 plus 2, so 9.
9? Okay, perfect. As you go out and you get into hyperspace in order to kind of make that jump over there, as soon as you pull out of hyperspace and you're just making the rest of the way towards the ATC, you kind of look in your rearview mirror, I guess, back at him, back in that area, and you see that he's very nervously tapping his foot and keeps looking out the window that he's closest to.
Is everything okay, friend?
Yeah, it's fine. Just focus on driving.
Okay.
I can't miss my bus out of here.
All right, we're heading right there.
He just keeps tapping his foot and looking out the window every so often. Yeah. But other than that, you guys make your way towards the ATC. You get into the garage area, the landing bay there, and he is almost jumping out of the ship before you officially open up the doors. He goes, where am I supposed to go? Where do I catch the bus? In the main lobby.
So yes, you would just go right to the main lobby.
Okay, and where do I go for that?
Just right. Is it just right there? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, you're in the garage, so you would go into the elevator, or whatever you would like to tell him.
Oh, okay, yeah. So just take the elevator right up there, and then you'll be right in the main lobby. You can't miss it.
Okay, and he runs to the elevator and goes up there towards the main lobby. Right now, at this point, you're almost pretty much done for the day. You see that Cascade hasn't fully made it back yet from delivering the bachelorette party, which is understandable. So if you would like, you can head up towards the main lobby. You can dock for the evening. You're pretty much all set with your fares for the day, so that is up to you what you would like to do.
I would just go up to the main lobby and wait around, see if there was anybody that needed anything or if there was anything I could do there?
Sure, absolutely. You go ahead and turn off your ship and you head up towards the elevator, up towards the lobby. As soon as you enter the lobby, you are met with a huge argument that is currently being decked out between your patron, Roderick, and Tony. They are having words together, and you can hear very clearly as you enter the main lobby that Roderick is yelling about his bus that is not here yet. He goes, "The bus is supposed to be here. You said it specifically on the dot. We are here at 5 p.m. You said it was going to be here and it was going to be ready, and it's not here." And Tony's like, "Listen, I understand there was just a little bit of a backup, it happens, there's all these different buses coming and going, the buses are not under our control, they're just stopping here in order to pick up the patrons." And Roderick's going, "This is unacceptable, you said that it was going to be here."
Tony, I could certainly take him wherever he needs to go. I'm pretty much done with my shifts for today.
So he goes, "Oh, thank God. All right, Alec will take you back to where you're supposed to go." And Roderick goes, "Fine, let's go." And then you hear the crash. You hear a massive explosion of something that absolutely impacts the side of this docking bay into the side of the ATC. You don't see anything, but you can hear it. Metal scraping against metal, and you can feel the entire station is shaking underneath your feet. What do you do?
I actually would probably try to guard Roderick Flash, make sure he's okay.
He's immediately on the ground and goes, no, we gotta go.
Okay, let's go.
Okay, so you guys race towards the ship, your ship, or you guys race towards the elevator?
Towards the elevator, or stairs, I guess, if there's stairs, because we wouldn't take an elevator during an emergency.
Sure, if you want to go towards the stairs, absolutely. Yeah. So you go towards the stairs and you hear another crash coming from the side of the ATC. You hurry down the stairs to try to get into the garage, and then the entire system ship bay shakes and you guys are thrown against the wall, and you hear screams coming up from the main lobby.
Just try to make it to my ship.
Okay, so you're just gonna leave everyone there?
Yep,
okay.
We're abandoning everyone. We're going to Betty.
Okay, sure. So you guys run to the garage and you can see where Betty is. And then you feel a massive rumble and an explosion of rock and metal burst out the side of the garage. And you see coming out of this massive hole that has been punched out of the side of this garage. You see what looks like a 30-foot purple worm of various shades of purple with tentacles around its mouth that has 5 different sets of teeth. There are 4 blue eyes that adorn its head, with 3 multicolored flaps around its neck of yellows to blues to greens. There are red spikes that go all the way down the back of this worm and up the sides of its face as it screams out and crunches on the metal of the actual system itself. It's got wires sparking out of its mouth, and it crunches and screams at you. Roll initiative.